From the Kolkata studios of Republic TV, it's time for Arnab Goswami on the debate.
Arnab Goswami on the debate at 9. Presented by Greenply E0. Powered by General Air Conditioners and Star Health Insurance.
Good evening and welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, they are all busy playing politics. All of them. They are playing politics over COVID. The non-BJP states are passing the buck to the center. And the BJP says that chief ministers in non-BJP ruled states should be resigning. Is this the time? Is this the time to ask for resignations or to broadcast or leak clips of a meeting with the Prime Minister? Is this the time to accuse, as Mamata Banerjee did, without proof, that the center is diverting Bengal's oxygen supplies to Uttar Pradesh? Can you make such accusations on a mere whim? Is this the time, ladies and gentlemen? Is this the time for state governments to look for a scapegoat? Which one of them was not doing political rallies? Which one of them was not doing road shows and political sammelans? They all were. Which one of them did not claim till a few weeks back that the situation was under control? They all did. Then tell me what explains this sudden, holier-than-thou attitude? The fact is they all messed up, viewers. Yes, they did. And they all get very angry when I tell them that to their face. They did. They collectively did. And since they did, and since because of what they did, we are the ones suffering as a result, I don't think I'm asking for too much by saying today, no politics now, please. And that is my hashtag tonight. Not now, no politics, please. That's our first debate tonight, viewers. Debate number 2 this evening. The sense of loss. When the lobby says that the country's most celebrated erudite lawyer should not be allowed to help the Supreme Court of India in fighting COVID. What do we do when the lobby descends to this? Nation for Salve is our second debate tonight. And this weekend, I have a fantastic interview with an incredible entrepreneur, Dr. Krishna Allah, the man behind Covaxin. And I'm running clips of that interview of The Nation Wants to Know after 10:30. And here are the headlines this Friday evening on the debate tonight. Prime Minister Narendra Modi takes stock, meets chief ministers of 10 most impacted states. Delhi government streams confidential meeting with the Prime Minister and Kejriwal later apologizes. Could this have been totally avoided? India records 334,000 cases. More and more hospitals sound the SOS as the oxygen crisis continues. The graph is not coming down either. 14 dead in Maharashtra COVID hospital fire. 4th such incident in Maharashtra alone in 3 months. Eminent jurist, top advocate, Harish Salve recuses himself as amicus in the COVID case as the lobby crosses all limits of decency. And this weekend, meet the man behind Covaxin, Bharat Biotech chief, the one and only Krishna Allah hits back at cynics on The Nation Wants to Know. As hospitals send out messages for help and as citizens continue to line up outside hospitals across India, needless politics and controversy is the last thing that we need as a nation in this fight. Today, our daily caseload has increased. We are going to 3.35 lakh per day, a dangerous global benchmark. That's why tonight, all of us have to come together as Indians and tell these politicians, no politics now, please. No politics now, please. Let's debate.
सबको बोल रहा है कि हाँ ऑक्सीजन अवेलेबल है, ऑक्सीजन कहीं पे भी ऑक्सीजन अवेलेबल नहीं है मैम, नहीं है।
This woman has been running from pillar to post in search of oxygen for her husband who is in Delhi's LNJP hospital. Families are breaking down over non-availability of essential drugs.
The remdesivir medicine, the injection is still not come, so it is still not sure whether they will get today or not. So, since the infection is more for her, I'm really worried.
There seems to be helplessness everywhere. Hospitals are taking to social media for distress calls.
राजधानी में हम गंभीर समस्या से उलझ रहे हैं। हमारे पास जितनी भी सप्लाईज ऑफ ऑक्सीजन है वो बिल्कुल ख़त्म हो गई है। आप ये मान सकते हैं कि इस वक्त केवल 1 से 2 घंटे की ही सप्लाई हमारे पास बची हुई है। दिस सप्लाई ऑफ ऑक्सीजन इज बीइंग स्टॉप्ड।
जो बैठे ऊपर सरकार बैठे, मैं हाथ जोड़ रहा हूँ, कुछ कर लो।
At a time like this, there should be absolutely no space to settle political scores.
এছাড়াও আমি আরেকজনের সাথে কথা বলেছি, তাদেরও কাছ থেকে সিলিন্ডার নেওয়ার চেষ্টা করছি, কারণ কেন্দ্রীয় সরকারের যা অবস্থা, এরা বাংলাকে ভাতে মারতে চায়, বাংলাকে পাতে মারতে চায়। এমনকি আমাদের যারা অক্সিজেন দিত সেল, তাদের বলে দিয়েছে তোমরা ইউপিকে দাও। তাহলে আমারটা কোথায় পাবো আমি? আমারটা তো দেখতে হবে।
The Prime Minister is taking the lead in the COVID battle. He met chief ministers of most impacted states, and amid the meeting there was another attempt to play politics.
मेरा विश्वास है देश में अगर कोरोना के खिलाफ एक नेशनल प्लान होगा तो हम सभी राज्य सरकारें और केंद्र सरकार मिलके इस दिशा में काम करेंगे। सर, कोरोना की वजह से दिवंगत आत्माओं को शांति मिले। हाँ जी सर।
ये हमारी जो परंपरा है, हमारे जो प्रोटोकॉल है, उसके बहुत खिलाफ हो रहा है कि कोई मुख्यमंत्री ऐसी इन हाउस मीटिंग को लाइव टेलीकास्ट करे। ये उचित नहीं है। ये हमने हमेशा संयम पालन करना चाहिए।
ठीक है सर, इसका ध्यान रखेंगे आगे से। सर, मैं सभी आत्माओं को शांति मिले जिन जिन लोगों का इस दौरान कोरोना की वजह से जिनका देहांत हो गया, और उनके परिवारों को दुख सहने की शक्ति दे। अगर सर मेरी तरफ से कोई गुस्ताखी हुई है, मैंने कुछ कठोर बोल दिया, मेरे आचरण में कोई गलती है, तो उसके लिए मैं माफ़ी चाहता हूँ। लेकिन अभी तक जितने आज पॉल साहब की जो प्रेजेंटेशन थी वो भी बहुत अच्छी थी, और उसके हिसाब से जो भी हमें निर्देश दिए गए हैं उन निर्देशों का हम पालन करेंगे।
The message was clear. India can only win this battle unitedly.
आज बीजी लहर आई है ये थोड़ी गंभीर है, एमा पण एकजूट थई बधा गुजरातीओ एक साथे गुजरात सरकार जोड़े रही अने आ संकटनो सामनो पण आपणे सुंदर रीते करी सकीशुं एनो मने विश्वास छे।
And in a bid to mitigate the crisis, Prime Minister also took oxygen manufacturers on board.
And we are having support from the Prime Minister also. Honorable Prime Minister also said that they have given instructions to declare this in the medical oxygen transport tanks as equivalent to ambulance service, and they are also agreed to provide us a green corridor for uninterrupted.
Oxygen Express are carrying hope to the worst affected states. Even the Indian Air Force is ensuring speedy transport of oxygen. New drugs have been given approval to save lives.
Zydus claims that this drug Virafin has shown significant improvement soon after the first dose. Now, how soon? Zydus claims, and let's go to the next slide so that we show you what they claim. Zydus claims that 91.15%, that's over 91% of patients, were COVID negative in 7 days.
When all stakeholders and every citizen is fighting this battle to win, can needless politics be allowed to compromise our war against the virus? Let's debate.
My request is that we speak one at a time. Sanju Verma of the BJP, Reena Gupta of the Aam Aadmi Party, PK Basu, well-known economist, Savio Rodriguez, chief editor of the Goa Chronicle, Shantanu Gupta, author and political analyst, Riju Datta of the Trinamool Congress, Mahesh Khan, social activist and anti-BJP political analyst, Abdul Razak Khan. So we have complete balance on the panel tonight. Now, Reena Gupta, can you please tell us all why you were live broadcasting a confidential meeting that the Prime Minister was having with all chief ministers? No other chief minister did it. It's a complete breach of protocol. To say that you were not aware of the protocol that does not allow the surreptitious telecast of a private meeting, that too with the Prime Minister, cannot be believed. By this logic, you should also have live telecast meetings when the center under the PM Cares Fund sanctioned 162 pressure swing absorption oxygen plants, out of which 8 were planned for Delhi, but only 1 has been put up. You should have live telecast that meeting as well. You should also talk about how in August 2020, your government had said that you will start sending oxygen concentrators to the homes of COVID patients, even if they have recovered. You should also explain to the people why you did not follow up on that assurance. Because if you were live broadcasting that meeting with the intention of giving yourself a public clean chit, it hasn't really gone down very well, has it, Reena? Please open the debate and then we'll have Sanju respond. Thank you.
So Arnab, first of all, there was no communication from the Prime Minister's office that it is a confidential meeting. There was a similar meeting on 8th of April with the Honorable Prime Minister and the Chief Ministers, and that was live telecast. Secondly, this was, in a situation of pandemic, the nation needs to know what is being discussed. What is this about protocol? Who sets the protocol? This is not some defense strategy which is being discussed. It is the pandemic situation and the deficiency of oxygen and everything else which is being done for the COVID management in the country. So what is there to hide? I don't see anything wrong in the meeting live telecast. And if that was the case, if this was the case that the Prime Minister wanted to keep this confidential, such a memo should have been sent to the Chief Minister office. No such memo was sent to the Chief Minister office. And similar meetings in the past have been live broadcast. So I don't see anything wrong.
Reena, a follow-up question. Would you admit it was a political move? It was a deliberate political move, therefore, going by what you've said.
If saving the lives of this country is a political move, then yes, I would say that we need to do such political moves. If the citizens of Delhi are dying because we are not getting our share of oxygen, and if pleading with the Prime Minister of the country, leaving all our ego, all our political differences aside, I on your channel want to beg with folded hands. Please give us our oxygen supply, and this is exactly what the Chief Minister of Delhi did.
Well, still the question will be there on whether there is a difference between your private positions and your public positions. Privately, I thought the Chief Minister of Delhi was appreciating the presentations made and constantly thanking the center for all the help that is being given. Whereas when you come out, the moment you come out, you take a different stance. I'd like Sanju to respond to this debate, which is opening up right now. Viewers, remember, bodies are piling up at crematoriums, burial grounds, outside hospitals. There is no oxygen across India. In the last 24 hours, 2,263 Indians have lost their lives. This is no place and time for politics. And I think the people of the country are with the Republic Media Network when we say so. But I'd like Sanju to respond to the opening remarks on whatever happened today in the meeting with the Prime Minister.
Arnab, there are certain things which are established as a matter of convention. So point number 1, to say that there was no directive issued by the PMO saying that this was a confidential meeting, I think that kind of a juvenile logic simply does not hold water.
Juvenile.
Point number 2, I did not interrupt you. Point number 2, to say that people are dying, of course, our empathies and sympathies are with the families of the deceased, and the Modi government is going out on a limb to ensure that be it ICU beds, be it oxygen, be it ventilators, everything is made available to states, cutting across political ideologies, what have you. And I'll just say one thing to showcase the hypocrisy of the Aam Aadmi Party. Do you know, Arnab, last year when Arvind Kejriwal presented a 69,000 crore budget, do you know what was the allocation for health sector that he provided for? 6,934 crore. And tell me, out of this 6,934 crores, has he spent a single penny on setting up a single bed? No. Has he spent a single penny on setting up a single hospital? No. You will be surprised to know, and your audience will be surprised to know, that the Modi government gave 300 ventilators from the PM Cares Fund to the Kejriwal dispensation, and till a couple of weeks back, even the packaging of those ventilators had not been opened. As we speak today, be it the DRDO facility, be it the Sardar Vallabhbhai COVID care facility at Chhatarpur, or be it Indian Railways that has transformed its coaches into isolation beds. Do you know in the last few days how many beds we have added? 4,159 done solely by the Modi government. I don't wish to politicize, but I think Kejriwal needs to be held accountable. Kejriwal needs to be held accountable. Health and disaster management fall under the aegis of the Kejriwal regime. Only
see where I am of
हमारे युवाओं को गंभीरता से
allow me to respond.
ये समस्या का समाधान निकालना पड़ेगा।
may I come in?
इस समस्या का समाधान निकाल रहे हो अरविंद केजरीवाल
Sanju and
Please allow
me to respond.
Yeah, 1 second. A minute, please. Now, there's one thing that I wish to say. What I want to say now is this. Now, Sanju and Reena, can you both hear me? Ladies, for a minute, please, ladies. Let me say one thing. With all the greatest sincerity, we've been following the story. As you know, we have hundreds of reporters on the ground. And they're doing terrific work, and therefore we are quite connected with the ground situation. While I have no particular personal qualms with this Delhi center fight continuing through the rest of the debate, I feel I need to make one point to you, and I will give you a chance to respond, Reena. But I will say to you, Reena, and I will say to you, Sanju, that somewhere I and most Indian citizens are all deeply uncomfortable with the BJP, non-BJP, BJP ruled states versus non-BJP ruled states angle that is emerging. And Reena, I am very uncomfortable when the Delhi health minister says BJP states are blocking supplies, because the first thing which comes to my mind is, let's say, and viewers, please think this through, in this country of so many states and union territories, suppose the center were to step back. Let's take a situation today. PK Basu is with me tonight. He'll throw greater light on this. PK, tell me, Professor, you're a macroeconomics expert. Suppose the government were to step back and say, listen, why don't you sort it out among yourselves? You're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. If the center steps in, you will criticize the center. If the center steps back, you will say it's abdicating responsibility. So we are in a unique, different kind of crisis. So I wanted to make that point, Reena, and after that I'll come back to you. But you want PK to come in right now? Should PK come in right now, or do you want to make a quick intervention? Okay, 1 minute. PK, she has a right to respond to Sanju, so we'll give her that right. You just keep my question in your mind. I'll come back to you. Yes, Reena. But please, if you can keep it short.
First, yes, very short. Sanju Verma comes on TV and she lies. It's very sad that in a pandemic situation, she comes and she lies. When we inherited the Delhi...
to make a point saying I'm lying and not take me on the screen or not. You're not being fair.
Yes, can I complete, Sanju?
And now you're
Sanju, allow me to
so
speak.
please take me on the screen.
I am going to let you respond, but you are on the screen, but she has to complete what she says. Now, come on, Sanju. Sanju, both of you will get your turn. Okay, so while I've said, now I'll tell you one thing. She has said that you have lied. No, let her say what she says. If she's calling you a liar, let her say that Sanju Verma is a liar. Then Sanju Verma, I'll let you respond. Then we'll have to move on,
yes,
please.
Can I complete?
Thank you.
Can I complete?
Please, yeah. Yeah, yes, Rina, but don't make it personal, Rina. It serves no purpose.
No. Delhi government is the only government in the country which is spending 15% of our budget on health. Number one, this is all hard data. I only speak data. I don't come out with some arbitrary accusations. Number two, in 2015, when we took over from the Sheila Dikshit government, there were 7,226 beds in Delhi. As of today, there are 14,000 beds in Delhi. We have created 5 new super specialty hospitals in Delhi. So please, Sanju Verma, do not come and lie on.
All right, now Sanju responds and we move on. Thank you. Rina, we have to keep it brief.
Built by the Union Government of India. Whom are you trying to fool? Arvind Kejriwal has not set up a single bed. Shame on you.
Only thing you were supposed to do was to make sure that there is oxygen.
Name the
you
hospitals.
Could not even manage to do that.
Name the regions.
Health
Name the
should
areas.
resign.
Where
that you
have
did
you
not
set
even
up these
manage
hospitals?
to make
Name.
sure that there is
How many beds
oxygen
have
in
you
the
set up
country.
in which hospital? Give me a data. Clear data
Yes, I'm
naming
giving
the
you data.
hospital and naming
Yes.
the beds that you have set up. Coming here making a generic statement that today there are 40,000 beds. Shame on you.
I did not say 40,000, madam.
You did not spend a single penny on any
I did not
bed.
say
You did
20,000.
not spend a
I did not
single
say
penny on setting up
40,000.
Any hospital. The Sardar Vallabhbhai COVID Care Center was set up by Amit Shah. Today the DRDO 1000-bed facility has been set up by the Modi government. The Shakur Basti ICU units have been set up by the Modi government. The Anand Vihar isolation beds have been set up by the Modi government. Oxygen to GTB hospital, oxygen to LNJP, oxygen to Gangaram hospital is being provided by the Modi government. Where are your Mohalla clinics? 270 of the 480 Mohalla clinics have shut down. And you come and wax eloquent about how great a job you've done. You were tom-tomming
We are
about the
so
Mohalla
grateful,
clinic
madam.
model.
We are so grateful, madam. We are so grateful that there is Ram Raj in the whole country, all thanks to the BJP government. We are so grateful. Everything is so good in the whole country, madam. The whole country is grateful for that.
Now we are opening up the debate between both of you and there's well, thank you now both. I had a point I made and I think PK understood where I'm coming from. You see, this is not the way. PK. I don't think the states can coordinate among themselves and they have to work with the center now. They have to work with the center. There is no alternative. They can't be going around looking for a scapegoat.
Arnab, can I just...
In any kind of federal system,
Arnab,
it is imperative that the central or the federal authority be allowed to coordinate things, and the state governments need to cooperate. You know, in the United States as well, we've had this massive problem in the United States over the past year of Republican versus Democrat states, and they keep fighting among themselves and make things worse. And unfortunately, in a crisis, we have a health crisis at the moment that is a global health crisis, a global pandemic. It has now reached our shores a second time, and we're seeing a huge spurt. It is vitally important that politicians leave politics at the door and start taking action. There's no point having so many advertisements from the Delhi government about their achievements. And instead of advertisements, we need to see actual action in providing for beds and oxygen.
Sir, this is a failure of
Abdul Razak
Sarkar at the center.
It is important to have.
Sir, allow me to speak. Let us not get into speeches
between
here.
The central and the state government.
We are discussing.
We need to have
let us not politicize. Let us not politicize.
Federal structure
Look at what Karnataka government is
at
doing.
A time when we have,
Sir, public money is
being
a
global
on
pandemic,
full-page advertisements to keep brand Modi alive. Because elections are up, they want brand Modi to be up. These are all national newspapers, full-page advertisements saying that Modi ji gave us metro at a time when there is a bizarre kind of protest in South Bengaluru, where people are protesting against the stink of the dead bodies that are being burned till late night, 3 a.m. And they want brand Modi. He has given us metro train.
You see, yet
Thank you,
another
Mr.
politician
Modi.
shouting.
Where is
Yet another
Remdesivir?
politician shouting.
Where is oxygen?
Instead of coordinating
Sir,
action, instead of
please
coordinating
understand,
action to find
you have to
solutions,
accept your failure.
all we do
You have to
here
accept
is,
your failure.
is
It cannot
accuse
be
each
brand
other.
Modi
It is
always.
pointless
Ram Mandir
accusing.
Ram Mandir
You know, all you want,
We
Razak,
need
Razak, 1 minute.
solutions.
Razak, I open this up now and I want to bring in a Trinamool representative along with Savio as well. And I'll say my piece before that because just a minute, Savio and Riju Datta on the screen, please. Thank you. And I'll tell you one thing. All that the states ruled by the opposition must understand is that they are no less responsible than the center for preventing the crisis. First, let's get that straight. If there's a disagreement on that, on your own culpability, then I'll start a new debate. But for God's sake, are we out of our mind today to start suggesting that if things are okay, states take the credit, and things go south, center takes the blame? That's downright stupid. That right now, where the center under the Prime Minister Modi is acting with alacrity in light of the damage. Damage has been done, of course. But please don't tell me that all the state governments of India could not have thought earlier that there should have been a better process of transporting oxygen in case the crisis went extreme, which happened. The fact is you didn't think about it either. And now you're playing cheap politics and using the center as a scapegoat, for God's sake. You don't want the people to know that you failed. You don't want the people to know that you failed. I mean, what was the Trinamool Congress doing? And today, oh, by the way, the Trinamool Congress has to give me evidence on the program tonight that the bad BJP and the bad center and the Prime Minister of India have given instructions to divert Bengal's share of oxygen to Uttar Pradesh. I mean, there is a limit to election politics. You, on a daily basis, your party abuses people from Uttar Pradesh, saying they are Bohiragoto, they are outsiders. And now you're saying that oxygen has been given to the Bohiragoto. Please tell me, who will believe you? Please show me the proof. I think Savio should show us the proof today. It can't just be at the level of an accusation. You have to show me the proof. Where was and when was, and show me the document to back up or the comment to back it up, which proves that the bad BJP was taking the good oxygen away from Bengal to give it to the bad Yogi government. Please tell me. Proof tonight. Proof.
You see the problem, Arnab? The problem, Arnab, is that
we want
today,
proof tonight.
When people are dying, people are suffering because we have not planned for the second wave, and every single government, whether it's the center or the state, is responsible for the pathetic situation we are witnessing in India. So let's be honest about it and let's come together to resolve and ensure that we save lives. The problem is, including the panelists on this show, they continue to defend their political parties, forgetting that the people of India is larger than the political party. We must understand that people are suffering. Instead of the blame game, for once, come together as Indians, as people who want to save the people of this country, rather than the blame game. We can play politics later.
No, but the blame game is also very. But the blame game is also with consequences. Because, for example, if you come on a public statement, a press conference which is being broadcast by channels across Bengal, and you then say that the center has taken away Bengal's share of oxygen to give it to Uttar Pradesh, then you sort of make that statement and you want to shoot and scoot. And then on Republic, you are asked that, please show me the proof of it. It cannot be, oh, we think or we second guess. There has to be, don't you believe, Shantanu, if a comment like that is to be made, which is a serious comment, it's made by a sitting chief minister, there has to be something to back it up, right, Shantanu?
Exactly.
Shantanu, shouldn't Riju tonight show me the proof?
Exactly.
Shouldn't Riju show the proof, Shantanu?
Arnab, where is the proof?
No, will you show the proof?
Riju, where is the proof?
No, Arnab, can you let me speak now?
No, where is the proof?
You are pointing a finger at Bengal, so let Bengal speak.
No, I'm not pointing a finger at Bengal. I'm pointing a finger at the Trinamool Congress. There's a whole world of difference between that. Trinamool Congress is not Bengal. I am pointing a finger at a comment made by the Chief Minister that oxygen is being stolen. No, you're not all of Bengal.
O'clock till 9:30.
The Prime Minister's phone went to Uttar Pradesh.
From 9.
No.
Mr. Arnab Goswami, from 9 o'clock till 9:30, you targeted Mamata Banerjee, you targeted Arvind Kejriwal, you will probably target Uddhav Thackeray also. But have you even for once, can you say on your channel that I admit that the Prime Minister of this country has failed? Can you admit it on Republic TV that the Prime Minister of this country has failed in his job? Because on 29th January 2021, the Narendra Modi said, despite doomsday conspiracies and predictions, India has defeated COVID and helped 150 countries. 29th January 2021. Why was that speech made by Narendra Modi? Why his picture was there in every vaccination certificate? Now why his picture should be there in every death certificate also? He is a murderer who's responsible for thousands and thousands of people dying in this country. In his desperate to win Bengal, he completely overlooked the health situation in India. He has to answer.
Who is the... Okay. Follow-up question for you. A follow-up question to you, Riju. Thank you. May I please have the unique and scarce privilege of asking you a question? Riju. My question to you is, who is the Health Minister of Bengal? Please kindly tell us. The nation wants to know.
Mamata Banerjee.
Answers the question, doesn't it? What was she doing? What was she doing? Tell me.
What do you mean, what was she doing? Do you know what Bengal has done?
What was she doing? Is it like, what is that? Okay, so my question...
For buying vaccines.
No, so one second, please.
Extra beds.
Explain the logic to me.
You know, 200 stay homes with 11,000 extra beds. See the situation in Bengal and see what the center has done.
So you're saying people of Bengal should be...
Can you comment on that? In his own
I don't want rhetoric. I want facts.
In Manikarnika Ghat on one pyre, 5 dead bodies have been...
Arnab, you can show your false anger.
Where is the
you can show your false anger later. You can show your put-on anger later. Just answer me this. You try to ignore every advisory from the center.
Okay, Riju, there's a counter coming to you from Shantanu.
He has failed.
Riju, you can show your put-on anger a while later. Just answer me this thing. Okay. You ignore all the advisories. You try to run a Republic of West Bengal. You don't enforce COVID SOPs. You underestimate the surge, and when you get stuck in the bottleneck, you say, okay, Prime Minister Modi is to blame.
Who are you to ask me a question? You go and ask the Prime Minister.
Why did he export 9,000 metric tons of oxygen to Bangladesh? Ask him why has he... Why did he export? Narendra Modi, why he is doing rallies?
There is no...
Narendra Modi already cancelled his rallies. Mamata Banerjee still did rallies 21st, 22nd. Mamata Banerjee still did rallies. They kept on saying that, but Mamata Banerjee still did rally on the 20th, 21st. No, Mamata Banerjee is not some sacrosanct name. It's not the name of the Pope, cannot be taken. Not the name of the Pope.
Why Narendra Modi
I will take Mamata Banerjee's name.
9,000 metric tons of oxygen.
Maybe you guys cannot take her name, right?
Why?
Show me a proof. Show me a paper. Show me a paper.
The problem is because of all these chatukaris
Bengal is diverted to Uttar Pradesh. Yogi is managing his own oxygen. Yogi is making sure how can be produced within Uttar Pradesh.
अभी वो मरघट का मसीहा बन गया है. लोग मर रहे हैं उसके लिए.
No, can you answer the question?
The BJP government is worse than the Nazi government of Germany.
Riju, since you make a very pertinent observation, 1 minute, Riju.
You had 1 year
Riju, I think you have made a very good point. Riju, hear me. Riju, 1 minute. Riju, may I please, gentlemen, thank you. Riju, first of all, I want to tell you that you have made a very good point.
This fellow, Mamata Banerjee.
Can you stop? Okay, now that's no way to speak.
Nobody, and after second May, she will be nobody. Everyone knows after second match she will be in
keep on
competition.
taking her name.
Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that.
Yes.
No, you make a good point.
Keep
You make a good point. You say you have said that BJP rallies have contributed. You have said that. 1 minute. You have said you
accept it's your failure.
Now you have said Riju is on the debate. Riju is on the debate with Sanju. Riju, you make a good point. Please don't. We don't need a chorus. Riju, you make a good point, and you have said, rightly so, that
Arnab,
so many.
The state governments, if they have failed, the prime minister also failed.
So,
why can't you say that,
I'll tell you. I will. 1 minute. First of all, calm down. You must first, when I'm speaking and making a point in response to you, you must occasionally listen. I want to tell you that yesterday and today, I have held both the center and state responsible. If you have not seen it, not heard it, then I will send you the video. I started my show with that. So much as you want to, I don't need that lesson from you. Now, the second point is, you have, then it's then it's one of those oversights by you. I'll let it be. The point is, you've said that so many rallies by the BJP have only contributed to a second. Excellent point. Spot on. And I have the 1 minute. I also would like to tell you, 1 minute, Sanju. I would like to tell you, wait, Sanju, wait now. I have not completed my point I have not completed my point to Riju. I said, excellent point, Riju. Brilliant point. This kind of empathy towards the people. I wish you had it when you planned 600 back-to-back rallies from December. Was there no COVID then? Till the 8th of April, she was doing a rally. She was addressing public rallies in Hooghly. Come on, you woke up now.
Prime Minister and Home Minister.
You woke up now. You woke up now. Were you not doing your rally? So who are you to point? You are calling the kettle black.
No.
That's a classic case of pot calling the kettle black.
I will give you hard data.
You're on weak footing tonight.
500
All you want is a skin.
500 crores were spent just on chartered flights and helicopters used by Narendra Modi. Can that money not be used to buy vaccines and all?
Driven by visceral hatred for Narendra Modi. I will speak if you ask him to keep quiet. You gave him uninterrupted time.
Na kisan, na jawan, na
You
insan.
gave him uninterrupted time. No, this is not done. This is not done, Arnab.
The country
this
will
man
remember
has spoken
how
enough to
thousands and thousands of lives.
Calm down now, Riju. Now she's listening to you.
Keep quiet, otherwise I will not make my point.
One minute.
Why is it that when I start speaking?
Calm down, both of you. Both of you calm down, one after the other, please. It's not easy. You want to be the anchor of the program? It's not easy. Even you wouldn't be able to do it, Sanju. Thank you. Now both of you need to hear each other. Now continue and make your point. Everyone calm down. Please, thank you.
So let me make my point. First of all, Arnab, Mamata Banerjee, who keeps taking pot shots at Uttar Pradesh and at Yogi Adityanath, and Riju Datta, you have no idea about statistics. So please listen to me very carefully. I'm sure it will drill some sense into your head. Uttar Pradesh has more than double the population of Bengal. More than 22 crore people live in Uttar Pradesh.
I know Mr. Ajay Mohan Bes, who was convicted with 16 criminal cases by the Uttar Pradesh government.
More number of deaths than Uttar Pradesh.
So pata nahi kahan se
Mamata
Jogi aa jate
Banerjee has
hain
not covered
BJP
herself in glory. Her COVID management has been pathetic. Point number 2. Why did you not implement Ayushman Bharat? Had you implemented that,
we do not fudge documents like Uttar Pradesh. That is why. Ayushman Bharat, 50% of the money is by the state government. Why will we implement something which is a political gimmick by the Modi government?
It is not even 40%. Shame on you. Shame on you.
लोगों को खून करने के सिवा कुछ आता नहीं है, सिर्फ राजनीति. If you would have believed in consensus, we would have been here. All you believed was in conquest, trampling the federal structure of this country, rampant suppression of dissent,
the most important
and you tried to run a fascist regime, and that is why people in Delhi are dying without oxygen. Shame on you. Shame on your leader. You are all murderers with blood in your hands.
Which are the 3 states which got the highest allocation?
Keep running your mouth. Keep running your mouth. The people of this country and Arnab, what have you done from the
I don't find any.
Now you are doing very
Riju, stop it.
What you have to prepare?
Please stop it, Riju.
What have you done with the PM Care Fund?
Single penny? Mamata Banerjee only knows how
Arnab,
to
it is
abuse.
personal because
Why
my
did she
family
never
members are
attend a
admitted in
single
hospital with
meeting
COVID?
between the
So
Prime
it's
Minister
personal
and
for
Chief
me.
Ministers?
Not about
She
this
always
motor mouth who
skipped
come and
meetings.
spew lies
And
here on
today,
national TV.
This classic chameleon called Mamata
When the
Banerjee,
Prime Minister of this
who will
country
be
has
sacked
failed, Arnab.
on the 2nd of May, has
Please
the
acknowledge
audacity
that
to say,
if the
why
state
were they
governments have not done their job
invited
properly,
for the
What
also
was
acknowledge
the-
the fact
PM
that the
had-
person
I will only ask you. I will only ask you. I will only ask you. Who is the Health Minister of Bengal? And I want to know what is the responsibility of the Health Minister of Bengal in the present situation.
higher than the welfare of the people.
What is the
Bengal?
responsibility of the Health
Shame on
Minister
you
of
and
Bengal?
shame on
What is
Riju
it?
Datta.
What is it? What is the responsibility of the Health Minister of Bengal? What is the responsibility of the Health Minister of
only
Bengal?
responsibility is to troll Narendra Modi and Amit Shah. Mamata Banerjee's responsibility is to troll Narendra Modi and Amit Shah. And Riju Datta follows in their footsteps.
Jokers. We don't need to troll jokers. We have the utmost respect for the chair of the Prime Minister, but we don't have any
You
respect
can probably
for the people
hold
sitting
her
on the
accountable for West Bengal, but you cannot hold her accountable for the country.
Riju Datta,
My only question to you is, you've been blabbering, you've been bringing all these non-constitutional data. Please, I want to ask you something. For the entire crisis in the country which we are going through, who is responsible for the second? Who is responsible? It's clearly when the Twitter hashtags are running through that the Modi must resign. So who is accountable is my only question. Are you going to hell? Arvind Kejriwal responsible for the crisis of the country? Are you going to hold Arvind Kejriwal for the country? Fantastic. If I voted Mamata as the Prime Minister of the country, I would say that okay, let's hold Mamata accountable.
Mehez, 1 minute. Mehez and PK. Mehez and PK, I'm coming in between both of you, and I says Mehez Khan, 1 minute. 1 minute, please. I can't speak in the din. I am saying thank you. So says PK.
The volumes are really low. I can barely understand. If we can increase the volume.
Sure.
Arnab,
So
your
if you
volume is
only
coming down really low. If you can ask
Thank
me.
you. So I will ask you, but you'll have to listen to me to be able to hear me. You have to stop speaking to understand the entire weight of my words. Right?
Arnab, it's 40 minutes. We have not spoken. It's 40
there you go.
minutes.
So you were the one. I'll tell you. You were the one, Mehez. You were the one who used to attack all the makers of Covaxin, and you were the one who used to say Covaxin is terrible because my lobby thinks it's terrible and it's a Modi vaccine. It's vaccine nationalism. I suggest at 10:30 tonight, when I run my fantastic clip of my interview with the Bharat Biotech founder, you go back to eat your words, and you also understand that all this happened only because of the encouragement of the Prime Minister. And I also hope that you understand that it was the Prime Minister who was setting up the high-level coordination committees. It was the central government which started the Oxygen Express. It was the centre, and it is the centre which is coordinating with the industry to ramp up the oxygen supply. It is the centre, 1 minute, it is the centre which has made Remdesivir available for states. It is the centre and not you who has allowed free movement for oxygen trucks. It is the centre which through PM Cares has set up 100 plants. So stop cribbing and stop watching the reality, please. Thank you. You don't have 1 point to counter me.
Social activist is to question the government.
Your federalism is limited to the good
times. I am going to make a point here. You will have to hear to me now.
I hope you have a point to make.
1.1% is what
you have a point to make.
Is allocated in India.
I hope you have a point to make.
Countries like Bangladesh is investing 2.37 of their GDP
there goes
towards healthcare.
You've come in with some rotten statistics to try and answer my questions.
So look at what is the policy problem here. It is a major problem.
Policy problems of theoretical kitabi gyan you want to throw at me tonight. We are in the middle of a crisis and you mugged up some things from God knows where and you're regurgitating those on my program.
1%.
Come on.
This is the problem. You do not. You want to keep people in the dark.
I understand
1.1% of the GDP is allocated to the healthcare. Countries like Bangladesh are doing far better than India, where they are contributing 2.3%.
It's not Bangladesh, it's Bangladesh.
You don't have the ears to listen to these things. The problem is, it's very easy to bootlick
this is not time for kitabi
and very
gyan.
difficult to question the government. You are just going to keep bootlicking the government.
Bangladesh.
This is exactly what you're going to be doing.
Let's talk about
why
Bangladesh.
we are not investing in the healthcare.
Bangladesh has no social security
Let the
system.
people know that this
No
is the country
provident
which is
fund.
only investing about
Thank you,
1.1%
PK.
of the entire
PK is on the debate.
Any program
allocated
like
to the
Ayushman
healthcare.
Bharat,
Question,
there is
let
nothing
people
of the
know.
sort in
Let
Bangladesh.
people know.
PK
Let us
Rina.
start fighting
While you
Bangladesh.
try and sell the other products,
PK and
of
Rina.
course it's important.
Yes,
Can I-
this point of citing Bangladesh.
PK first. PK first. Thank you, PK and Rina. Anand, thank you, PK. PK, complete your point, please. Complete your point.
Quickly,
Complete your point.
let's understand that Bangladesh, so if you talk about Bangladesh,
vaccination certificate?
there is,
Please answer
first
me.
of all, I have got a Covaxin. I have got a Covaxin certificate. There is no Prime Minister's photograph there. Sorry, this is a useless, it is a juvenile statement, juvenile and false. But let's go to Bangladesh. The lady talked about Bangladesh. Bangladesh has no social security system. It has no provident fund. Its workers don't have any provident fund. They have no pension schemes. And so the cost of labor is extremely low. They have nothing like the Ayushman Bharat scheme that gives 5 lakh rupees of free health care to every citizen of the country in India. So please let's not compare the degree of social and health security provided to all citizens of India with those of Bangladesh. The whole reason why Bangladesh is competitive is because of low labor costs, and those costs are kept low with the absence of a provident fund scheme. There's no provident fund.
Let me give one example. I want to offer a question and an example, PK. I want to offer both. I want to bring both to the table. And Rina, just hear this point, right? Okay, see, I have a thesis, Rina, okay? And here's my thesis, Rina. My thesis is, and I'll take just 30 seconds to explain this, please. See, federalism has its place in any democracy. Always. It's been my belief. But fighting a pandemic will not happen with a sort of a dissipated, dispersed, and divided strategy with each state, fending for their own without coordination or cohesiveness. And federalism will not work in a pandemic. Because when things go wrong, the same states will blame the center anyway. I want to give you a very live example of this, and I want you to respond to it without thinking of what points you have in your mind anyway. Think and hear my question, Rina, and think about it. And you can respond. And after listening to your response, I want Sanju to come in. So it's very well thought out argument. See, you wanted independence in handling vaccines. Example number 1. It was the Maharashtra Chief Minister and the Delhi Chief Minister, Arvind Kejriwal, who were leading the demand of vaccine procurement and dispersal for all by states. Now, my question, therefore, is following up from that is, why is it that exactly when this is permitted, the blame game over vaccine prices is still pinned on the center? Go ask AstraZeneca. It makes no sense. This means center does everything. You want to take the credit. You wanted control. You want control over procurement, pricing, and distribution. Then talk to AstraZeneca. You got exactly what you wanted. You cannot have responsibility without accountability. Yes, please, Rina. I think you understood my point.
So, Arnab, what we have been requesting is to have a transparent system of vaccine allocation and how the states are getting their quota. This is what we were requesting, number 1. Number 2, we were saying that please allow people of lower age groups also to be vaccinated, because our data from Delhi showed that in the second wave, a lot of younger people were getting infected. Those were 2 our main points. Now tell me, how can you have the same vaccine being sold at 2 different price points in the country? The center procuring the same medicine at 150 and the states are supposed to procure it at 400. It makes no sense. I have studied international health policy. Arnab, let me complete.
AstraZeneca.
I have studied international health policy.
But no, that's all right. You may have studied. Why don't you ask? Ask Covishield. Ask the Serum Institute.
These are capitalist countries. They're all giving vaccines free of cost to all.
Why do you want the center to intervene?
Please.
Arnab, you are.
Why do you want the center to intervene?
I'll tell you why.
Why do you want the center to intervene? No, one minute, let her complete. Why do you want... See, you didn't want the center. You wanted independence. You got independence. Now you want the center to come back and do the pricing for you. Doesn't make sense, no? Either you want the center or don't want the center.
We want
pricing is between you and Serum Institute is a company. Serum Institute is a private company. Serum Institute is a private company. You're a government. Deal with them.
It doesn't work like that, Arnab. The central government
that's the point.
in the history of this country has done the vaccine procurement for all these years. We have run such
but you
big
didn't want them to, right?
vaccination programs in the country. All we were saying was that increase the supply of vaccines to the states.
With her.
I find it tough to believe. All right, Sanju's make a comeback. Sanju.
No,
only Sanju Verma should be allowed a monologue and nobody else should.
No personal comments. No personal comments. Reena and Sanju. I want a debate. No personal comments. Thank you.
Who makes personal comments? You know.
No personal comments. We have a good debate tonight.
Sanju Verma
we have a good
on a TV program day and night, and she's lying every day. I can prove it with facts. I'll give you an example of the PM.
You're one of those literate illiterates. You're one of those literate illiterates. Let me tell you, the Modi government has vaccinated over 13.53 crore people in 95 days, the fastest in the world. Faster than the United States, which took 101 days, faster than China, which took 109 days. Point number 2, Steel Authority of India Limited, a public sector unit, has supplied liquid medical oxygen to the tune of 35,000 tons.
Your data
at the
are not
behest of
available.
Modi government to 10
you cannot
states
answer
which demanded it.
question.
Point
the crisis
number 3,
in the country.
in the first round,
you're
we
holding
gave you 350
the weirdest,
metric
the funniest
tons.
part is
Then Delhi requested for 700 MT.
What was Modi
we gave
doing?
You 378 metric tons additional.
Madam, what were you doing when there were repeated demands in November? You were just thumping. You were just thumping. Modi ji ne पूरे वेव को रोक लिया. मोदी है तो मुमकिन है. You were just thumping.
So that oxygen
will you stop your
being supplied by the Modi government can be transported to different hospitals in Delhi? क्या आप इतना भी नहीं कर सकते? You want Modi government to administer the vaccine. You want Modi government to decide on the vaccine policy. You want Modi government to decide on the vaccine pricing.
Reena.
Next, you will say,
no, I want you all.
Go and ensure in each vaccination center कि vaccine लग रही है या नहीं. बस
Reena.
बाकी रह गया है. India is not a confederation of states. Unlike the United States, India is a union of states. When we say union of states, it means that different state governments have a lot of powers at their disposal and there's ample decentralization. Now, given the amount of decentralization which Delhi
decentralization, my God, that's like a joke. A BJP person talking about decentralization. This is the most centralized government in the history of the country. The most centralized government. There are only 2 people who take all decisions in this country. Seriously, give me a break.
Okay, I think now there is only a point here. You see, we don't want. We must. No, we saw that. Now my point is, we don't want the situation to go out of hand. And please understand, to all political parties, please understand one thing. See, to everyone, I want to say one thing. See Reena, Riju and Sanju. Sanju, Riju and Reena, remember the number of COVID cases today is 3.34 lakh. It's an extremely worrying situation. I can only genuinely appeal to you that this much politics and no further. And on the other side tonight, why at times we need to come together. And I find it unbelievable that India's most celebrated jurist is under attack because the Supreme Court told him to help them in finding a solution to COVID. Can you believe that? The nation says it wants Harish Salve, but the lobby is continuing to call him names. Why is this happening and why is this being allowed on the other side?